Back in March of 2024, I put out this video here where I was talking about the importance for us as Black Americans to come out with our own code of conduct, if you will, or I should say code of ethics, that we should have when we're online, particularly within the age of AI. If you haven't checked out that video, I really took the time to really lay it out and to explain why this is so important. And what I use as my, I guess, point of reference or case study is to look at the Jewish people, for example. If you try to do anything within AI that refers to Jews or, by name or whatever, there are already flags in place that will automatically shut you down immediately if you mess with their history or if you try to play around with their imagery or anything like that. There's already things in place on social media and within AI itself that will keep you within the loop that they want you to be in, And so I said, well, they're doing it for them. That should be, but this group, I should say, they took the steps to make sure to hold these companies' feet to the fire and say, nope, you don't do this. And so what I was suggesting was, likewise, as Black folks or Black Americans, that should have been done a very long time ago when it comes to the type of content that is out. And we set the boundaries and the guardrails and say, no, we do not want this stuff to be manipulated or you play around with it in any way, shape, or form. And it was quite interesting sitting back and at the birth of Sora, we've been playing around with Sora on this end too. It was very interesting just within the first week or two of Sora, this latest version of Sora coming out. It was very interesting to see all of these different videos where they were showing Martin Luther King doing all kinds of things. I mean, they just went straight to Martin Luther King.
Today, my friends, I stepped into Cane's for the very first time. This basket of chicken and fries is proof that simple things done with care can bring people together. Enjoy, sir. Thank
you. You didn't see too many videos of them having people dancing in gas chambers, for example, or or some aspect of the Holocaust and making it funny. You know what I mean? You didn't see any of that. Why? Because they already had their guardrails in place when it comes to how their people and their culture is being depicted. And so it's very important, that any group for that matter, if you didn't take those steps prior to this tidal wave of AI technology that we're in right now coming upon us, the train has already left. It's too late now, because what has happened and what continues to happen now is with AI technology, it pretty much, just think of a huge straw. It's just literally sucking up all the data that has been provided by real human beings, to cyberspace, to the internet, all of these years, going all the way back to America Online, CompuServe, and all the way up to today. People have been freely giving and providing all types of information on social media. That's the good stuff. And it's also the bad stuff too. And what you see on social media that's provided by various people is a reflection of not just them, but oftentimes it's a reflection of the culture that they're part of, what that culture finds funny, what that culture finds amusing, what that culture finds entertaining, what that culture finds very offensive. All of those things have been freely uploaded. Once you hit that button, you digitize your data, move it up to social media world. It's gone. They've taken it. This is why we have all these data centers, is to make sure that all of that information stays retained. So when we're talking about Black Americans, and particularly our usage of social media, we've done, we did a video not too long ago where we looked at when you compare Black Americans as a group with other groups, and if you want to find out, okay, which group uses these social media platforms the most, we looked at X or Twitter, and we also looked at TikTok, and then Instagram, and then Facebook. X and TikTok were the top ones for Black Americans, where they are literally outpacing all other groups here in America. And so that for have such a small group, for us to be outpacing all other groups here in America, that is quite something. And that means that there's a lot of information, there's a lot of data that we're putting out here. So that brings us to this particular topic here. If you've been following the news, you know that President Trump has put the hammer down and said, listen, for people who are on EBT or on the SNAP program, by November 1st, we're going to put the hammer down, and we're going to take away your your benefits, if you will, if you don't. You know what I'm going to do? Let me stop for a second. I found a very good video. The guy's cursing a little bit. Let me play that video first, because there's some parts to that whole claim that, oh, he's taking away from old people and sick people and black folks and all of that, that there's a key part within the bill itself that a lot of people just didn't even bother to read. So let me play that first for you.
I'm so sick and tired of y'all Trump haters out there. Y'all gonna keep lying on this bill, knowing damn well you didn't read none of that bill. You just repeated what they told you on CNN and MSDNC. But don't worry about it. I went and read it, and I'm gonna show you exactly what it says. Here the work requirements straight from the big, beautiful bill for healthy poor people who can go to work. And it says so right here. If you want your Medicaid, the individual works not less than 80 hours, meaning you must put in 80 plus hours of work. You must put in 80 plus hours of community service. You must put in 80 plus hours of a work program. You must put in at least half time of an educational program. And the individual can either have a combination of any of these. So you can put in 20 hours here, 20 hours here, 20 hours here, 20 hours there, or 40 and 40, however you want to break it down. Let's move on to the next. Right here, for everybody who's saying that he's taking it away from poor people, the individual has a monthly income that is not less than the applicable minimum wage requirements under Section 6 of the Fair Labor Standards Act of 38 multiplied by 80. So that means if the minimum wage in your state is $7.25 and you multiply that times 80, what is that, 580? So you must make at least $580 or more to be able to qualify for the Medicaid. Next. Right here, and it shows you here all the able-bodied adults without dependent work requirement. Here you go for everybody who continues to lie. If you are under the age of 18 or over the age of 65, you are exempt. So old folks, you good. It says it right here. If you're medically certified as physically or mentally unfit for employment, you're good. If it says a parent or other member of a household with responsibility for a dependent child under 7 years of age, you're good. Who else is exempt? Pregnant women, homeless, veterans, someone who's 24 years of age or younger and was in foster care under the responsibility of a state on the date of attaining 18 years of age or such higher age as the state has elected under Section 457 of the Social Security Act. So y'all need to stop telling these lies that the poor people about to lose their Medicaid, that old folks about to lose their Medicaid. There are requirements and there are people who are exempt. Y'all need to go and read that bill and stop listening to the liberal, leftist, lunatic, legacy nonsense media.
Yeah. So now, consider yourself informed on that, regardless how you may feel about Trump, as an individual, as a president or whatever. It's good to know that there are people out here that are concerned and do care and value about facts. So that is the truth. When you have people who just do not want to go out there and to, if not find a job, create something. That's just what it is. But it brings us into much deeper questions that I've been asking on this platform as well. But we'll get into that in other videos. So, but here's what I do want to talk about, because there's another side to this as well. As you may be aware, there has been an avalanche of videos that have been out here on social media where a lot of them feature mostly black women who are, out here complaining, not only complaining that, that their EBT stuff is going to be taken away, but also threatening that they're going to go out and steal from these stores and, and all this kind of stuff. And they're saying they're organizing and all of that. And I'm like, okay, how about organizing, get a job? But anyway, there have been numbers of videos out there, videos like these.
Everybody going around saying that motherfuckers ain't getting with the cart.
Now, I have been very careful, and when we've talked about this particular topic in the past, to really take the time and look at these videos, because there are other forces that are at play who are taking that data. Okay, these are real people. What I just showed you, those are real people. And they are bringing it into the world of AI. And so now what may be, I don't know, a few videos, now you got many videos out here that it's not real people, And so let me share this with you. This is an article that I came across. This is on the Daily Dot. And what prompted me to come across this video is because I saw a video of a black man, and I may insert that here if I can find it again.
Walmart said they're thinking about closing their doors on November 1st to where you can only order your food and your groceries online. The Brokies made a threat towards Walmart and said that if the government shuts off food, SNAP, they're going straight to the Walmart to get everything they need. And now every Walmart has a police officer on standby, and they're thinking about not opening the doors until this situation has passed.
And he was making the claim that Walmart was basically on high alert to the point where starting November 1st, what he is hearing is that they are going to make it where you can only purchase from Walmart by, ordering online. But I said, now that's quite drastic. But I need to look that up, and I could not find anything that verifies that. And this is a black guy that put this video out here. But anyway, let's look at this article here, and let's go through it. Okay. And I have a video of someone else who's spotting these things. Viral videos claim expiration of government SNAP benefits in November is already increasing shoplifting at Walmart. Is there any truth to that? Well, I will just say this. It would be very early for that to be, unless Walmart came out with a statement like that. I mean, I don't know if they could be able to quantify that this early in the game. But anyway, viral videos claim Walmart looting has already begun. Multiple TikTokers have posted videos claiming that Walmart stores are experiencing mass shoplifting and looting as fears grow over potential loss of SNAP benefits in November. And then they named one of the creators, the Real Crier family, posted a video describing alleged footage from a Walmart employee showing people rioting inside the store, running out with baskets of groceries and knocking others down.
Oh, everybody grab what you can. Y'all, they cut off the food stamps this morning. Government shut down, got folks losing it. Look at this. They done rushed the whole store. Shelves clearing out like it's the end of the world. Nobody stopping. Hey, move!
And they said the creator claims the video showed a very a heavy police presence and a chaotic scene with abandoned bags of chips and packs of meat scattered throughout the parking lot. According to the post, the situation became so overwhelming that the employee went home early after being tasked with cleaning up the mess. And then it goes on with other claims as well. And so they say claims have not been confirmed by credible sources. Despite the viral spread of these videos, there are no confirmed reports from credible news outlets about mass looting at Walmart stores related to SNAP benefits concerns. And then in this same article, they actually do have some videos. I don't know if I can click on these or not, but these are just screen grabs of videos. And as you can see, these are black folks that are putting these things out. And, so, yeah, you have this as well. And then it goes on and they just talk about, some other things regarding this whole thing. So again, so far, my point is that, yeah, I mean, are there real people that are out here that are making the claim that they're going to go out there and tear stuff up. You know, if their SNAP benefits don't show up November 1st, yes. But also what's happening is everything that you are uploading, regardless if you're playing around or you're not or whatever, people are taking that real information and they are feeding it into AI, and they're making it something a lot more than what it is. You know, and then I will say this too. I think the last video I mentioned, I went into this as well, because I know at this point, the responses from some people is going to be something like this. Well, the truth is that black folks, it's really white people who use SNAP, EBT more than black people. And that's true. However, and again, you have to go back to the video that I did on this very recently. Anytime you mention the words per capita, people automatically, their brains just get turned off. They get offended by it, because what per capita basically means is you're looking at the entire group. In other words, when you have, if you have 5,000 white people, right, and a 5% of white people isn't going to be the same as 5% of 5% of 500 people. You know what I mean? So if you have one group that's 5,000 and you say, okay, we're going to take 5% of that group. And then you have another group, let's say that's 500 people, and you say, okay, I'm going to take 5% of that group. Well, which group do you think is going to feel it the most if you take it away from them? It's going to be the 500 group, actually, you know, and that's where the per capita thing comes in. So even though, yes, white people do, by the numbers, use SNAP and EBT way more than black folks, that is true. However, there's a higher percentage within our group that rely on these benefits more so than white people. And like I said, in that video that I was talking about, regardless, let's get out of this. Let's compare ourselves to whites and other groups. Let's focus on us for a second. You know, the fact that you do have individuals within our culture who are so desperate to make sure that their families are fed, that they are willing to riot. But yet there's nothing in their head that says, you know what, my community got me. You know what I mean? The fact that that is not even a thought, it's automatic. If you're cutting me off, I have nowhere else to go. But you are part of a community, right? The community doesn't have any solutions for this kind of stuff. And that says a lot about the community itself. And that's the kind of conversations we try to have on here, and talking about that. Not so much if you cut us off, Mr. Government Man, we don't have anything to do, anywhere to go, because no community should be in that kind of position. That's what we talk about here on this platform. But let me play for you this video here that I came across of someone who's also talking about this whole AI thing and how it's being used to, you know, manipulate this whole situation regarding the SNAP EBT stuff. So let me go ahead and play this for you.
This is AI. Here's how we know and why it matters. It's made by Impossible_ASMR1, who, after 8 failed slot posts and a 3-month break, decided that Sora could finally make their dream content. Videos of black women trying to use EBT in places it's not accepted. True creativity unleashed by AI. The shutdown created an opportunity to have them yell at the camera, but it's not till the whole family's back there that the full racist stereotype is fulfilled. This is rage bait, and we'll get angry commenters who, when they learn it's AI, will say, oh, but it's true anyway? Which of course it's not, and that's cope for being played. They were so played they didn't notice the kid missing half an arm while the other kids are frozen in place for no reason, and these down here are warping together. They were too focused on this fake AI person cramming in a script that they used 3 other times for their other fake AI people. I will gladly knock down AI rage bait of all kinds and from anywhere on the spectrum, because it's part of the same problem, casually letting our feed slip into fake, parallel AI universes that exist only to divide us.
And I think that was a very good analysis there. And it should encourage you, once again, as an individual, when you come across videos, regardless of what the video is, And it's one that specifically targets what I would say your amygdala, that part of your brain where the emotions are generated, that part of your brain that it targets. If it makes you feel some kind of way to get into your emotions, then you want to make sure you check, and then check again those videos. You definitely want to do that. On this platform, we actually spent a great deal of time dealing with this whole AI thing back. You remember back in the day, the videos that was going around was saying that, President Putin, he can be seen going into this sacred library and then uncovering all of these paintings that show Jesus and the apostles and everybody black and all of that stuff, right? And here he's making a declaration to the nation and all of that. And these are very large platforms that was putting this out and saying, yes, this is true. This is really happening. Prophecy is being fulfilled and all of that. I was pointing out to different ones. I was saying, no, this is not true. This is AI. But, ultimately it feeds into what people want to believe. So in this case, with this whole EBT situation, it feeds into two different groups. It feeds into the stereotypes of in this case, black folks, when white people who really don't like black people at all, it feeds into that and saying, see, I knew it. See, I knew these black people were going to just lose their minds. It feeds into that, right? But for black folks, what it's also doing, unfortunately, is that it is magnifying the stuff that, unfortunately, black folks are providing to the beast, to the system. And so this is why, to bring it back, this is why I say, before you hit record, before you hit upload, this whole code of ethics thing that I'm referring to, do I really see that there's going to be some kind of organization set up where there's going to be this self-enforcement, if you will, of this happening? No, I don't believe that, because there's a lot other things that need to be repaired before I see this what we call the black community even get to a point like that. But it can start with you. That's where, don't look at other people. This is something that you can do. So this is something you can educate your children, your family members, and most of all, before I hit record, I had a rough day. I just want to vent off. I just got to tell somebody just how much I feel or whatever. That is probably the worst time to record yourself and to upload yourself. That is the absolute worst time. Will you get clicks? Yep, you sure will. Will you get a lot of likes? Yep, you sure will. Will it go viral? It might even go viral. Absolutely. But what is the cost? What is the cost? And the cost is just this. It's that information at your highest emotional state is being funneled over into the world of AI, where they can take that, manipulate it, and monetize it. So this is just, again, one of my friendly reminders, just to tell you, to tap you on your shoulder. Hey, listen, it has gotten real. We have been warning people that these exact things were going to happen. And here we are today. And make sure you also watch this video here. It's a woman. She's a judge. I don't know if she's in YouTube, a YouTube judge, a real judge. I honestly don't know. I mean, because I don't watch shows like that. But Judge Faith and her husband, well, they were victims of this. And I would highly encourage you to watch their video, and where they're talking about how they were victims of this and who was behind it. Man, it's really something. And yes, once again, AI was the key factor that was used to defame them. So again, watch yourself on these AI streets out here, y'all. It's getting pretty serious out here. Okay. So thanks again for tuning in. You guys take care, and I'll see you again soon.
The flavor is worth it.